Three, two, and one. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Red Thoughts with Perry Picasso. I'm your host, Perry Picasso, and today I'm joined by a very lovely guest.
Cesar Garcia. Yeah.
Woo! Welcome, Cesar, to the podcast. Cesar is an incredibly talented artist and community activist. Love their work. And right now they have a piece right now at the Desde los Cielos group show curated by Manuel Camacho Larios and myself. Um, it might still be up when this video goes on. I don't know. Um, we'll see. It might be. It might have just barely gone down. But anywho, you have a piece in there, and it is called.
um, you know what? I forgot the name of it.
You're so real for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a guna binisa. It's like a Zapotec term, but translated to like English is women from the clouds or mujer de las nubes. So
It's a beautiful
yeah,
piece.
thank you. I
Yeah.
probably didn't pronounce it correctly in Zapoteco because I'm not a fluent Zapotec speaker,
Mhm.
but I understand it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's so cool.
hmm
Um, were you taught that? Did you learn that later on in life, or did you grow up with that language?
Uh, I grew up with that language. Well, I was born here in California.
Hmm.
To be more precise, I was born in Santa Maria, California.
Okay.
But when I was 5 years, my mom decided to move back to Oaxaca, where my family is from.
Okay.
Um, so I grew up with my grandparents, and they only they speak Spanish, but their native language is Zapoteco.
Okay.
So from a very early age, I was like I would say like they talk to me in Zapoteco,
Hmm.
so I had to like learn it.
Hmm.
But like I said, like I didn't learn how to speak it. Just like
Got it.
certain words, but
Hmm.
not. I understand it. Like when someone is having a conversation, yeah, I understand it.
You know what they're saying, but you don't know how to like respond, or maybe like a few words here and there.
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
like basic, like like saying good morning, like
How do you
those
say good
words.
morning?
Saxil,
Sexil.
saxil.
Hmm.
So saxil, saklaishi, buenas tardes, good
Saklaishi.
afternoon, saklaishi, and sakushin,
Sakushin.
and buenas noches. But there's like another term, another word for like there's like four different like it's morning, like noon, then afternoon, and night.
Okay.
But I don't remember how to say the
The
like
noon.
the noon. Yeah, so
Hmm.
uh, like
That's
I say, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but
wow.
you know.
I'm gonna believe that you did, because I don't know either. I know even less.
Yeah.
That's so okay. So then you grew up in Oaxaca from the age
Yeah.
of 5.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I know that Oaxaca is known very much for a lot of the arts. Like it is a from at least every time I think of Oaxaca, I think a lot of lots of culture, lots of art. Was it like that for you growing up?
Yes. But when I moved back to California, like I wasn't aware of like how rich like Oaxaca was in
Yeah.
like in the arts and culture until I got here because that's when I like got to like another
Oh,
perspective,
interesting.
because I was living in a small community,
Mm-hmm.
and like we didn't have like the chance to like go to like the city, like where is like
Mm-hmm.
most of the like arts,
Yeah.
you know, like there's a lot of printmaking studios, a lot of galleries,
Yeah.
uh, a lot of things related to art. And yeah, growing in my community, we didn't have the chance to go
Mm.
visit. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like, and if we go, it was like something like, oh, we finally
Right,
got
like a
this,
special
yeah,
event.
like a
Okay.
special occasion, or like we only go went over there because like we need to go to the mercado,
Mm-hmm.
so el tianguis. So
Okay, so just
that's the like one of the reasons we
okay.
go to Oaxaca. But yeah, other than that, yeah. And like I said, when I moved here, I got to like see that perspective. Like, oh, so there's a lot. Like that's how I discovered printmaking actually, because
Hmm.
um, well, when I was 11 years old, my dad took me to printmaking workshop in my community,
Mm-hmm.
and it lasted like a week, and that was the only like time I got to experiment printmaking.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because then like we didn't have like the materials to keep like linoleum,
Yeah.
yeah, the tools to do it. Um, so when I moved here, I discovered that there was like a pre-making scenario in Oaxaca. So when I went to on vacation back to Oaxaca, that's when I like contact studio and I started to take workshops. So
Okay.
and yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
getting back to your question, yeah, there's a lot of things going on in like
Mm-hmm.
in ceramics, textiles, like the pre-making, painting. So I even got to know like there was like glass blowing studios over there.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
yeah, so yeah, so it's really rich
Okay.
in arts. Yeah.
But that's interesting. But it wasn't until you had to leave and then you came back that you're like, oh, it's all of, it's
Hmm.
very rich in all of this.
Yeah, yeah, because you're like a kid, or
Mm.
you don't care about like
Yeah.
but when I think you had to get out to get another perspective,
Hmm.
so that's how I got it.
That is true. Because
Hmm.
when you're growing up, you're like, I hate this place. I want to leave. And then you leave
Yeah.
and you're like, actually, it wasn't that bad. Like, obviously there are some things that were bad, but it's like, it's not as horrible as.
Yeah. uh, yeah, living in a small community, like in indigenous community, is like sometimes I think like people like close,
Hmm.
like they don't like they are like very like, how do you say, like reserved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
conservative.
yeah, conservative. It's a Catholic like community, and
Oh, okay.
so there's a lot of like sometimes restrictions, or
Yeah.
like I was like telling some friends that growing up, like I used to like a different type of music. I used to like arts, and there was not a lot of like friends or like kids from my age that like that kind of stuff,
Mm.
or like reading. I also like love to read, and it was hard to find like that kind of friendship, like friends who like that
Hmm.
type. Because obviously I like one thing like we share was like soccer, football.
Right.
So
What did you listen to? Like, what was your go-to music when you were like,
uh, I started by listening like rock en español,
okay,
like Caifanes, Soda Stereo, Enanitos Verdes, and then later I started to like get into like rock in English,
okay,
so like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin,
okay,
Iron Maiden, the classics. Um, yeah, and like when I like that type of music, I started like to dress like
like a rock star?
yeah, not like a rock star, but like like a rocker.
Hmm.
Like I let my hair like grow, and mm, yeah, like there I when I was like walking or going to like some place in my community, like there was always like people like talking, like
Hmm.
behind me, like saying words,
Just that, because you
like
were different.
Americon.
Oh,
You
uh-huh.
that type of words, like yeah, but I didn't really care, like so, and I got to know like to make friends outside my community.
Hmm.
So it was like more on like I wouldn't say like city, but they were like between this, like
Like the
city and
suburbs, almost.
yeah, kind of like that. Yeah,
Okay.
that's where like I got to know to make more like friends.
Hmm.
because we share like the same, like I say, same taste.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that's
Okay.
what. Hmm.
Um, when you were growing up, and you said you started doing printmaking at 11, were you always doing art, or was that sort of your first like take into the art?
Not really. Yeah, growing up, since I remember, I really like to like draw, like to do watercolor. I used to like Dragon Ball. Well, I still like Dragon Ball, but that's how like I started to like learn how to draw, like by
Hmm.
like copying like the Goku,
Hmm.
the characters from Dragon Ball. That's like the first like encounter with
Hmm.
art. But yeah, I always remember that myself like drawing, painting. I used to, because my dad, he liked to draw, like, he's an artist too, but he never like how to say, like, took advantage of
Mm.
his talent. But I I mean, he was a great influence because he's a woodworker,
Okay.
so he like carved on the wood. He painted, he draw, he sculpt with the clay.
That's cool.
And he always like when I was in elementary school, he used to help me a lot with like projects. Um, like there was this time there was like, it was Dia de Muertos,
Hmm.
and they asked for calaveras.
Hmm.
Calaveras are like short like poems,
Okay.
like that talk about death,
Hmm.
like Katrina. And so my dad was like, "Hey, why don't we do like a dinosaur? Like the skeleton of a dinosaur." And
Oh,
he did I'll say, I don't know what's the name of Stegosaurus,
a
the one
stegosaurus.
that has like spines in the back. I think
Sure.
it's I don't know that one, the spiky one.
Yeah, the spiky one,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, that one. He did it with scraps of wood and wire,
That's
and
cool.
then when I got to school with the dinosaur, everyone was like, "Oh, I want one!" Like, and my teacher was like, "Oh, we're gonna go. We have it like in exhibition at the
Hmm.
at the school, like so people can see it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure my dad's gonna say yeah." So. Uh, and that kind of, I always like remember my dad by that kind of stuff, like also like he helped me with project about Egypt,
Mm.
and he helped me, well, he basically did it. But he sculpted the Tutankhamun, Tut,
Uh-huh.
the pharaoh,
Yeah.
um with clay, and then like he painted with golden spray,
Oh wow.
and then like paint the details. And he also helped me with like a plane from like World War I.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Like
Okay.
those are like special like things I remember from my dad. And like I said, like he was like one of the first encounters, or the first person I I will say like was my teacher.
Hmm.
Like mhm.
Well, that's so cute.
Yeah. So
Oh.
thank you. Yeah. Um, but yeah.
No. What part do you think that you carry anything like what your dad was doing over to what you make now?
Mm, Could you repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
Like is there anything that you sort of carry from what your dad sort of taught you in these like little moments of making these little crafts to your art now? O sea, ¿cómo le ha influenciado la influencia de su papá en su arte
Oh,
ahorita?
okay. Um, I would say, like I was saying, like my dad was is a carpenter, a
Mm-hmm.
woodworker. So I think
Mm.
like I because when I do pre-making, I always like to do woodcut.
Hmm.
So I think that's like the thing that
That
like
you took from him?
yeah, like I took from my dad
Hmm.
because he like I say he like I could see like the carving techniques
Hmm.
he used when like doing like doors. Like there was some doors that like had like designs
Hmm.
and he had to carve it.
Oh,
So I think I think yeah, like
okay.
pre-making was calling me since then. Like
Yeah,
um yeah, I would say like that's the way like I
that's cool.
yeah.
Because I think most people when they do making, it's like on what is like the rubber, like the what is it?
Lino cut.
Lino cut, right?
Mhm.
Or some sort of other thing. Because I feel like wood carving is more intense or more difficult. Am I
Uh,
wrong?
mm, well, I don't know because I have always like since I started like I have always doing on woodcut
Hmm.
and just like recently I have started to do lino cut,
Okay.
but I do like small like scale lino cut. But when I do large, I really like to do large scale woodcuts and like using wood like I think gives me the option to work on large scale because
Mm.
also linocut like that large is like really expensive. It's more expensive than what I work mostly on MDF board
Hmm.
and it's more affordable than linocut.
Yeah.
And also because linocut is more fragile, it can like break, if you're not careful. And about is large, it can break.
Mm.
And wood is more like durable.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I prefer wood
Okay.
always like. Uh,
Yeah, they're always really large. Did you always did you always like do such large pieces or like when did that start?
uh well, I'm trying to remember the first like woodcut I made. I would say was like 2 by 3
Okay.
feet,
It's pretty big.
and yeah, and I think I got inspired or like motivated to do large scale because like coming from Oaxaca and like learning about other printmakers over there. And like also like you can see like the wheat pasting. There's a lot of wheat pasting like
Mm.
on the streets of Oaxaca, and they always like do like large scale like.
Whoa.
Um, so that's where like I got to inspire. Like I
Mm-hmm.
want to do also large scale. And when I got here in to San Bernardino,
Mm-hmm.
uh, after I took the residency within Studio Aire at the Garcia Center.
Mm-hmm. With you, Lisa.
Yeah, with Yulisa.
Shout out you,
Yeah,
Lisa.
hola.
Love you.
Yeah,
Love you, Lisa.
yeah, yeah. Yulisa gave me the opportunity to take the residency, and well, actually, this after I finished the residency, that's when I started to work on this large scale piece.
Mm.
Um, and when I started that piece, like Um, I invited like local artists or artists that I got to know, and I was telling, "Hey, I'm carving this piece. Like, you wanna come and just join, and,
Mm-hmm.
just learn how to carve?" And they were like, "Yeah, okay, I come by." Yeah, and at the end, we were like 12 people in total that were working on that piece. Um, and some of those like uh, people or artists got to create the collective Gráfica Nocturna, which
Mm-hmm.
is a collective here based in the Inland Empire. Um, that is like the goal is to promote printmaking traditional techniques. So,
That's cool. The next question was going to be about Grafica Nocturna and hear about that collective. So it sounds like it was formed from you guys just sort of doing workshops together, and then you're like, oh, let's just get together, or
yes, taking like inspiration from the Oaxacan printmaking scene. Like there's a lot of collectives over
Okay.
there, and that's like I got inspired. Like
Hmm.
when I got to San Bernardino, it was like I don't see like there's like printmaking like the streets are empty. Uh, and yeah, I got to know like the first like printmakers I got to know was Pavel Acevedo,
Hmm.
who was actually I got to know Pavel here in Riverside, and he's a Oaxacan printmaker. But other than that, like I got to know later Sara Vasquez, and Adam Aguilar, um, who were the people that were making printmaking. Like I got to know like
Hmm.
close, and yeah, so like we decided to come together as a collective because we share the same like passion,
Hmm.
and like I said, like other artists decided to join also. Like, mhm.
That's cool. You said what was the main goal of it again? To
To promote um, traditional printmaking technique such as linocut, woodcut. We have been starting to do screen printing,
Hmm.
and like we are trying to like implement like new techniques. Learning new techniques, and
Hmm.
also like to make it more affordable. Yeah, for the community. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically the goal of the collective.
That's cool. I know
Mhm.
that I've seen you guys around at different events and things. I think the first time I saw you was it was that event at the Garcia Center, and then I forgot what it was. Emmanuel is having a performance, and
Oh, I think it was when yeah Eme was having his residency at the Studio Aire, and he has this embroidery workshop.
hmm,
I
I
think
think it
that was
was
the first time.
was that
Yeah, what I
okay?
remember,
Because I
well, for
feel
me,
like I
like
saw, or maybe it was after that. Because I remember one of the things that I was the temporary tattoos. That's so you guys who do that, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I remember it was one of the events out there that I saw, and I was like, "That's cool." And then maybe that was before, maybe that was after. But then yes, I do remember seeing you there though at Emma's workshop there as well for the Studio Ida.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna ask about the temporary tattoos. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, how do y'all decide on that?
Uh, well, the temporary tattoo is like something like some printmakers, like if not most of them, but some printmakers that like do. Uh, so in the way we started to do it with the collective was um, the women or female from the collective. They it was March, so it was Women's Month,
Hmm.
and they decided to do a performance, to create a performance. Um, and then they were like, how are we want to apply like pre-making or like make pre-making like like interactive or like as a performance.
Hmm.
Um, so that's how like we came with
Mm.
like watching like like videos or like uh, we just got to like um, learn how to do it. And yeah, and we got to know like you can use like the powder to dry
The ink.
the ink,
Hmm.
because that's something like you apply when like you are carving your design, and then like you want to make like a test like to see how it's looking and then print it, and then like you don't want to wait like too long for the ink to dry, so you use the cornstarch to dry it like immediately.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's the same like technique
Hmm.
we do with the on the skin. Um, but we have been trying to like create like different like colors because we only do black, but like doing other colors like red or
Hmm.
like blue, let's say, like is more toxic.
Oh,
it's like
because the
doing
pigments.
yeah, the pigments are like toxic. So we're trying to like uh, you know, like create color ink, so we can do like the other, yeah,
Hmm.
colorful pieces. You know. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how it came with the performance. So that
Hmm.
was like, and then that I remember that same day, before the performance, we had an event here in Riverside. I think it was at the artisan market at White Park.
Hmm.
Yeah, art market
Okay.
or festival. I don't remember.
Oh, the
Yeah, but
Festival of Arts and
hmm?
the Festival of Arts and Culture.
Yeah, I think kind of like that. I don't remember exactly the name. Yeah,
Something,
because yeah,
something with the
something
arts.
related to that. But that was the first time we like started to implement the tattoos, and like people like really love it. Like we like oh like we saw like people really like it because uh, I feel like I think like people engage more with arts when it's like they have the chance to interact
Yeah.
with the medium. So and yeah, so people have been liking the temporary tattoos. So
Hmm.
mhm.
Slay, I didn't know that it started off for the a performance. That's cool to know that from the start it did have that uh interactive like that was sort of part of the concept, I
Mhm.
guess. Like it was part of an interactive art piece, part of a performance. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, hmm yeah, and we have been also like using a lot of like now every time we do like a print or like because we also do like prints with like on paper,
Hmm.
so like people can take it like if they don't like it on this
On the
on their
skin.
skin, so they can take
Mm,
it on paper. But it's basically we use the same like
right,
the
the same.
constant. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Um, for you, how has being in that collective impacted or changed the way you do art?
Um, it has like deeply affected my art because I think like the thing is it has motivated me
Hmm.
to keep creating because when I was starting like printmaking back in 7 years ago, I would say um, I started actually here in San Bernardino. I mean in San Bernardino,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I started to like do like participate in art contests or like open calls,
Mm-hmm.
and like I got like how to say like unmotivated
Mm.
because every time like there was like other artists who like won the prize or like
Mm.
um and I was like I feel like my art was like I think needed like at least a mention or something.
Mm.
um but I think I got yeah unmotivated,
Mm-hmm.
and like I stopped making like pre-making like for I would say like 3 4 years I
Oh
stopped making.
wow.
So I just got back to when I started the studio. I mean the residence, the studio I did. That's when like I got back again to
Oh wow.
pre-make. And like I said, like it has like the collective like has motivated me to like keep creating, keep
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, just keep creating art. So yeah, it's a great influence in my
Mm-hmm.
work. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
How would you encourage other folks to do the same?
Like
Like,
like
would you like to start a collective or to find their own art group? Because I feel like that can be a little bit of a challenge, you know?
when we started like we started used to like for fun, like they were not obligated to like to be in the collective,
Mm.
like I said, like they came and like they carved and like we were just chilling, and later like when we got like more like offers or like people like hey come here so to do the tattoos or like do a workshop, um that's when I we started like we could make like a living, like
Hmm.
we gain some make some money, like,
Right.
because as artists, like I don't think like it's not only passion, you have to also to think it as a,
We got bills.
yeah, you have to think as a business,
Yeah.
and I used like recently has started to like to think like that, like this is a business,
Hmm.
um, and isn't like because people they say like, oh, you only do it for money, like, but I mean that's one of the reasons, but also it's because I like it, I
Yeah.
love it, so um, but yeah, like I would say like, well, the way we came with the collective was because I was looking for like people who share the same passion.
Mm.
So I would say like, yeah, you have to find like the people you share the same like, yeah, the same likes, the same passion, and yeah, just like I don't know how to say, like, use like find a space like, and then just meet together and start creating. So
Yeah.
so and then like I say like, if you keep if you're consistent, you keep like doing your work, like there's gonna be people that gonna be interested in your work and they're
Hmm.
gonna reach out to you. Like,
Yeah.
mhm,
Just
yeah,
keep going, keep putting yourself out
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah.
No, for sure. Okay. Well, I would love to now chat about one of your pieces that is at the museum, um, that is titled Mujer de las Nubes, Woman from the Clouds. And if you could just go ahead and read that for us, your little blurb.
Okay, so okay, los zapotecas de Oaxaca se denominan Bini Sa, gente de las nubes. Bini, gente, Sa, nubes. Su origen mitológico se encuentra precisamente en las nubes, quienes descendieron a la tierra en forma de aves. Su propio conocimiento de las estrellas y sus artes adivinatorias les auguraban su final, prediciendo la llegada de extranjeros que esclavizarían a sus pueblos, por lo que deciden abandonar sus antiguas ciudades y esconder sus conocimientos en cavernas y sitios inaccesibles. Esto demuestra que el ser humano siempre ha tratado de demostrar y encontrar de dónde procede, y en muchas culturas siempre se le da un origen divino, casi alienígena, pero fuera de este mundo, y al mismo tiempo nos confirma que el fenómeno migratorio siempre ha estado presente desde tiempos inmemorables. Esta pieza es un reconocimiento a la travesía que mi madre y muchas otras oaxaqueñas emprendieron en busca de un lugar con mejores oportunidades para los suyos. Mi madre estaba embarazada de mí cuando ella y mi padre decidieron migrar a California. En este momento, en ese momento yo era un tripulante y mi madre la nave que me llevaría a un nuevo mundo, muy distinto al mundo que ellos habían dejado atrás, convirtiéndonos en alienígenas tal cual lo habían hecho siglos atrás los primeros zapotecas. En México, Dios es mujer y la madre es lo más sagrado y santificado, siempre dispuestas a sacrificarse por sus hijos, y esto se ve reflejado en la devoción al símbolo de la Virgen María, que reemplazó a las deidades femeninas de nuestros ancestros. Esto me hace pensar y confirmar que la mujer, al convertirse en madre, llega a alcanzar ese estatus divino de santidad y que concebirá desde las estrellas una nueva forma de vida. Ah, gra- y al final es un agradecimiento a mi madre por regalarme esta travesía llamada vida. Y Natsi Li, te amo,
Aw,
que es en zapoteco.
it's
Yeah,
beautiful. It's a
thank you.
beautiful, beautiful
Yeah,
piece.
thank you.
Um, what when you heard about the show and the theme, what were your first thoughts?
Well, at the beginning, like I didn't have like a clear idea like what I wanted to do for the
Hmm.
show. But then like when Amy explained me like what was about it, I got more confused.
It's so real for that, honestly.
No, I was like I still like didn't like have it like clear. He explained it to me, but I was like I don't know how to
Mm.
translate it. And then like when I start to like like I how say like got to know like more about like alienation
Mm-hmm.
and migration. So that's when like I said, oh, so here's the team. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna because they refer to migrants as aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I took the my mom as inspiration because I said in Spanish, but like what I was saying in the description is that my mom was pregnant when he came to the United States, and she was pregnant with from me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I make that like how say reference,
Mm-hmm.
like she was like the spaceship, and I was the how do you say the rider?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my mom was the one who like was transporting me to California.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another world. Like like
Another planet.
when you compare it to like a small community in Oaxaca to like the United States, it's like it's a completely different world. So yeah, so I took my mom as reference for that. Inspiration for the
Mm-hmm.
the piece. Uh, I actually like wanted to elaborate more on the piece, but I was like short on time. So it's a piece that is gonna like evolve.
Okay.
So so there's like still in the process. So um, yeah.
What more did you want to elaborate on it?
Like I said, like I wanted to like make like a spaceship like around the central piece. Actually, I took as reference for the model for that piece is one of my friends, Miriam Nieto. Uh, hola.
Holla. Shout out
uh,
medium.
yeah, at that moment she was pregnant,
Mm.
and when I was like thinking about like that, and then I saw her, I was like, "Hey, you wanna be the model for the piece?" And I explained her about, it, and she was like, "Yeah, so let's do it." So I took some pictures and um, yeah, and what I wanted to do around like the the figure
Mm-hmm.
was like to like carve like a type of spaceship, like some
Mm.
like yeah, but it was more like how to say like to do it like Aztec, like Zapotec reference,
Mm-hmm.
like from some of the symbols you can see on the archaeological sites in Oaxaca. So I wanted to add some of that, make a reference to
Yeah.
like the Zapotecs, and then like on this part of the like the dress, I couldn't finish. Well, I couldn't like do it the way I wanted because I wanted to do like papel mache
Okay.
and like kind of like make it like liquid,
Mm.
like and like paint with that on like making the designs on the dress.
To make it look like water, like a.
Uh, well, because I want to print that piece, but the way I want to print it, I want to add color
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like I always do only one color or which is black, but I want to add more like color to my pieces. So that part I wanted to use chine colle,
Mm.
which is like a technique where you add like paper on paper.
Mm.
So you use like color paper, like you can be like tissue paper or mulberry paper, but
Mm-hmm.
with different like texture or like color designs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I wanted to do when actually that's what I want to do when I want to print it.
Okay.
But for the woodcut piece, I wanted to do that part with the papel mache.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, but I was making a mess with the paper mache. It didn't have the consistency I was looking for. So
Hmm.
I said like
I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna
gonna
use
do it
this.
this way. So that's the way you see it now is like an emergency, like um, the flowers I add on the design.
Hmm. Okay.
So that was like my last resource for the yeah.
I mean, I thought it was really pretty.
Yeah, thank you.
I would have never guessed. I just, to me, kind of fit the theme of sort of like a mother and sort of bringing life and the flowers, the blooming. Um, Interesting. I didn't know. I love hearing things like this of like hearing like what were the other options or what was sort of things that you were wanting to explore and head towards. Okay.
Yeah, and I think I always like tend to like because I always say like okay I'm gonna make a print. But then I just like finish the woodcut and I would say I don't wanna have time to print it. So that's why I like decided to go with the original piece, with the woodcut.
Hmm.
Um, and I kind of like more the texture of the look it has on the wood, like
Yeah.
that. Because when you put it on paper, I think it loses that. You don't replicate that. Even like you carve it, but the paper it doesn't on paper it doesn't give you
Like
that
dimension.
feeling. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I have been if I print, I try to like look for paper like tam cream paper because I don't like how it looks like white on the
I
paper.
was gonna say that's another
Yeah.
thing of why I also like that you. It's almost like that's the original,
Hmm.
because I mean that is essentially the original. But I also love that because it is wood. The background is a brown. It is a tan, as
Hmm.
opposed to it being like on a white background on a white paper. I don't know. Just to me, like it fits it a little bit better of you also showing like brown bodies and people of color and like I don't know. Just to me that it feels just very. It just fits it very well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Um, there's another thing like I try to do with my work is to I always try to like come with or you like to take a reference real people like got to interact with. Um, so like my last pieces I have done, um, those are like people like I know people like have interacted with, and also like some of them has they relate to the team or the
Mm.
what I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to do. Like I said, like
Mm-hmm.
when I was looking for like reference for like I'm gonna do this about my mom, like pregnancy,
Mm-hmm.
and then I found the person. I was like, okay, so you're perfect
Yeah.
for the
Mm.
piece. And like I did another piece, two pieces, large pieces, which another thing I try to like portray on my pieces is like issues like that affect our communities, above all in the Inland Empire. Um, so like there's this piece I made about um, house displacement, like homelessness, um, and the person I use for the that piece, she's like a person who works with the homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so and I made another piece that talk about uh, native people, um, and also like that the person was like is well is a native
Mm-hmm.
descendant. And then another piece I made with my friend Elle, as she was the model for that piece, and yeah, like trying to like represent her culture on that piece. She's from Kenya,
Mm.
so I try to like add elements from her culture to that piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I try to like represent, people like they would say minorities,
Yeah.
you know,
Different communities,
yeah, from
different
different
cultures.
backgrounds. Um, yeah, so That's one thing I always try to like take care of, like the people or the person, because I work more on like portrait, like human figure. Um, so yeah, so that's why.
Okay, that's cool. Um, when you're done sort of with the works, do you usually give the block to the person as like a to them, or do you have just like a vault of all of the pieces,
Uh,
or
I
some people like, no, thank you for doing that, but I don't want to see myself.
no. Yeah. When I do the or before taking the photos, I always tell them, hey, um, I would like to give you a print of yourself as a as a way of
Good,
paying
thank
you.
you. Hmm.
Thank you. Uh, and I like I just remember that I haven't like some of them I haven't given them their
Oh,
prints. So, but
it happens.
I will soon. The thing is like some of them are large, so
Mm-hmm.
there's a challenge when like you do a large woodcut because then you have to find or get a large press to print it. And I have been looking like for large presses around here in the Empire, but uh, no, I haven't had like success with
Hmm.
that. The only way we would go to like contact someone in LA.
Hmm.
I'm still like looking
Probably
for.
expensive as hell too.
Yeah, to get one of them,
Yeah.
yeah, it's expensive. At least I would say like the cheapest will be like 5,000.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like a dream, like to have my own large press.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so it's a challenge like to make a print,
Hmm.
and like the only way I have been done it is like by hand. It's like it takes time. Above all, if the paper is like heavyweight, because it's like it takes
You have
more
to really
pressure.
press
Yeah,
into
you have to
that.
really press. But it's much easier to do it on like newsprint paper. But also like it's not a good paper, the
Hmm.
newsprint. So yeah, but
Hmm.
I still wanna give you your prints.
Okay. I'm curious of moving forward if you're gonna continue to, when you show in museums and different galleries, like, will you continue to do like the block like how it is now, or do you want to go back to displaying like the actual print?
Um, you know, I think I have like when I have been like thinking about displaying my work, I like I say I always prefer like to wood, but
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have both, like to have the
Mm,
original and to have
the
the
prints.
print next to the. So in that way, people can see like the work behind that piece, because sometimes I feel like if you put like the only the print, it's like people wanna say like, oh, so it's drawing, or
Mm-hmm.
like they just draw it on paper, so it's not a big deal. But
Yeah.
when you see like the woodcut, then you see all the detail, all the work that went on. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I would like to like to do that in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I definitely do love the idea of having them both together. Um, but like I said, there was something very just interesting about like carving it away and then having that be the base, and then you just build around it, like how you added the lantern for
Hmm.
like the spaceship essentially. Like there's something really cool about making it like a sculpture that I really
Oh, okay,
enjoyed.
okay.
I don't know
Like
if you had I don't know if you would like to continue doing that, but I think it's cool.
oh, like an installation, right?
Hmm.
Like oh yeah, that's something like that's something. I think when I did that piece, I was like, you know what? I think I would like to do more like installation, like more, I was it like 3D, like to
Hmm.
look at more 3D. Yeah, but I think that I had that like idea, um, just waiting there for,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely I want to do it again.
Okay. Slay. I'm like, I as much as I would love to see like the prints as well, I think this is another avenue that I think would be really cool. That I'm very excited to see like other ways in which you can incorporate it and push it.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, when you're doing these pieces and you're sort of making them for like how you're saying like for specific like causes and things, how do you go about like finding someone or sort of um yeah, selecting your models or going about that? Because is it just sort of like by chance or is it sort of
I think like when I get to know the people, and then like when I had the idea, that's when like I like relate
okay, so
them.
it's somebody you already kind of already know then.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when like, but there has been like sometimes like when like I used like see a person, and then I was like, hey, I I just got an idea. So
Okay.
I would you like to be part of so
Hmm.
it's like by only like seeing the person, it's like, oh, I got this idea I want to do with you, with them.
Okay.
So that's like the way it has been, like it works for me. Like
Hmm.
um yeah, I think.
Okay. So then you've had both, like you said, like your people that you're already comfortable with, but like every now and then you see somebody, you're like, you come
Yeah,
here.
well, not going, but but yeah, kind of like
Okay.
that, kind of like that.
That's cool. What are people's reactions when that happens? Are they usually just like, yeah, sure? Or are they
Yeah.
like hesitant?
No, some like most of them, like when I tell them like, oh yeah, I would love you to I will be, yeah, like honored to like you do a portrait of me, like, and then when I explain them like more about the piece, that's when like, oh yeah, I really want to do it. So,
Hmm.
uh, so yeah.
Um, I was gonna say is when that happens, what are things that stick out that make you want to like choose someone to do for a piece? Because a lot of your pieces are very like like people focused,
Hmm.
right? Or at least a lot of the ones that I know of are very like people focused, right?
You mean like the way they are like positioned,
No, no, no.
or
Like, how do you um
capture them, or like.
yeah, like capture them or like how do you also like I said go about I forgot what I was trying to say. But yeah, like when you find someone like how do you go about like knowing what you want to say with them?
How do I find what I want to say with them? I think, like I said, like when I like have this team, and then like uh, I have the person, but I don't have like how I wanna like do it, And then like I tell them, okay, well, we wanna take like you wanna pose, and you wanna do this pose, and then like when I like once I have like the pictures, and then go back to like checking them. I think that's when I in the process of like choosing like which picture I want to do. That's when like the idea, I think, like materializes like even more.
Hmm.
Like um yeah, like I would say like I don't have the idea, like final idea, like from the beginning. It's like evolving,
Hmm.
because the way I also like carve is like I draw my design by hand on the wood, but it's like I still don't know how I wanna like put it together with
Hmm.
like, but I like I said, like while I'm drawing, that's when like this like the idea starts to like come. So, okay, so I think like adding this thing, or like it will make it much better. So
Hmm.
I think that's like the way.
Okay.
So.
And then a question that I love asking a lot of the artists, especially a lot of the artists here, is how do you feel knowing that like you're gonna be in the history of like Chicano art in that, you know, in the future, people will be talking about your art in their class, in their textbook. Like you're part of history now. How does that feel?
Um, you know what? I have never like
You never.
asked me myself about that, but it would be really cool like to like get to know like like in schools or like pre-making they take my work as reference. But I think like I just keep like working, creating, and like I mean if like they if they appreciate the work they I make, like it would be like yeah, it would be a great honor to like just to like get to know like people. There's people that admire my work, and
Hmm.
like yeah, but yeah, just getting out of context, or I don't know if it's like I have been like doing like more like events outside, like the Inland Empire, and like there has been people that you're like from the collective, you're the one who makes printmaking, and I was like, oh, how do you get to know about me? And like, oh, because I got to know you for by Instagram, or like I took a workshop you guys, and oh, I got a tattoo. So and it feels like really nice to when people um, give you that like reward.
Hmm.
It's a reward for yeah.
Slay, yeah, no, you're absolutely incredible, and I know you're gonna go very far. Like, I think you showed at the museum a couple times, right?
Actually, that's gonna be with you guys is the third time.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the first time was with when the Garcia Center was curating,
Hmm.
and we show up the the first piece we made as a collective, and then like the second time I got the opportunity to curate that show,
Hmm.
um, and then like with you guys, so it's like
Yeah, you curated the whole show, huh?
yeah,
How
so.
was what was that process like?
Okay, because I was just talking like about the idea of like, oh, I would like to curate an exhibition at the Cheech someday. And then I was talking with someone from the Cheech, and she was like, oh, I can talk with the director. And I went, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, well, let's see what happens. And then 1 week later, she was like, oh, you know what? They actually want you to to curate an exhibit. And I went, really? They went, yeah. And it was like, oh, it's gonna be in June. And I was like, next year. And I was, no, this year. And it was, I think when I started or asked was in February,
Oh wow.
February or January. It was at the beginning of the year.
Hmm.
And then like she told me, oh no, it's gonna be this June. Like, and I was like, or you wanna go, or you wanna do it next year. And I was like, nah, you know what? I'm gonna do it right now because
Yeah.
I don't know if I wanna have the chance like to do it next year.
Hmm.
So yeah, and I took the opportunity, and then that's how like I got to curate it, which is like was a new experience for me because I got to learn like the Cheech staff. They helped me a lot with the process, with everything, and also the artists who participated at the uh, exhibition.
Hmm. I love the team out there. They're so good.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's so cool. You just were like one day like I really want to do this, and then
Yeah.
the next week they're like, actually, do you want to come into my office and talk
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah. It was kind of cool. Like,
uh,
that they gave me the opportunity. Like, I really appreciate it. Um, yeah. So,
yeah.
and also like thank you. I haven't like thank you guys, but yeah,
Oh yeah, of
thanks for
course.
inviting me to be part of the show. Yeah, and like the team you choose for the show was like, yeah, really really great. Like it got
Yeah.
me. It made me like work my mind. Like to see like.
It was a little, even though it was a little confusing at first.
Mhm.
It's okay. It's so funny when you said that because I think when we first did it and we sent it out, there was a lot of people who were like, when we sat down, they're like, "What does this mean?" And then and then we had to like sit down and explain it to them again. And then after like a couple of talks, I think we had to like reword it a bit so it'd be a little bit easier to understand. But it's so funny that like that was a lot of
Mhm.
people's reactions
Yeah.
too. Oh my god, I love. Well, thank you so much for giving me here and letting me know about it. If y'all love Cesar's work as much as we do, please invite them to the show. Um, put them in literally whatever you want. They do events, they do workshops, they do it all. Where can they
Yeah.
find you?
I'm the only social media I'm like present is on Instagram. Is Soy Creatics. So yeah, so
Say it'll
it's
just be
here.
right here.
It's down here. Yeah, so that's the like only way like I get to like show my work online.
Okay.
But probably I will do like YouTube. Like I don't know. Let's see.
Oh,
Let's see.
that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. No,
If you need help,
you're inspiring me to do
if you need help, I got you.
it.
I
Yeah,
love filming.
yeah, and yeah, you can find me like doing workshops in
Throughout the IE.
yeah, the and
Mm,
Pomona, Long Beach. So
slay.
yeah,
And y'all know where to find me, Art Perry on everything. My podcast, Red Thoughts Perry, my shop, perrypicasso.com, portfoliopicasso.com. Um, yeah. And until next time,
bye,
adios.
bye. Yes.
Ciao. Thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here.
thank
Oh
you.
my God.
It was nice.
Thank you. Ah, I'm very happy.